Hi, I'm Robert, and today I'm going to show you how to take this image from here to here, all in Lightroom. I'm going to use the graduated filter tool, the brush tool, and the HSL panel to turn this image around. Let's get started working at the bottom. I like to work my way from the bottom to the top. Let's make sure we're on the current version. Scroll up. We're not going to be adding a vignette to this image. Let's double check to see if this image is straight. Press constrain crop, zoom in on the horizon. It's only a little bit off, so we'll just rotate it slightly. That looks good. Continue up. As always, let's remove chromatic aberrations and enable profile corrections. Let's do our standard sharpening routine. 100 is sharpening and applying a mask. Hold down Alt. Let's scroll up. We want to sharpen everywhere except for the sky. We'll go to about here. Let's continue up. We're going to skip the HSL panel and go to the basic panel. Let's open this image up. We're going to bring the highlights down and the shadows up. Now we'll set our white point and black point. Keep an eye on the histogram. Bring our white point up till we clip, then back it down. We're going to do the same with the black point. Bring it down. We're clipping, bring it back. So we have our exposure set and our contrast set. No need to add any extra contrast for this image. We're going to skip over this section because I'm going to individually place some of these sliders into the image. I don't want to affect the entire image. Let's go down to the HSL panel and do some work on the sky. I like to start with luminance so I can darken some of the colors I see in the sky. So let's darken orange, yellow, and blue. We have blue over here, then we have an orange and yellow gradient over here. So we darken them slightly. Let's add some saturation to those colors too. After the HSL work, it doesn't quite get me to the place that I want, so we're going to use the grad tool. Grab a new tool, pull it down while holding shift to make our line straight. I want to work on the blue area separate from the yellow area. To do that, let's go to range mask, choose color. We're going to click on our eyedropper and click over here on a blue color. So you can see now we're only going to be working on the blue areas of the sky. So let's press O to turn off our overlay so we can see what we're doing here. So I want to make this blue area of the sky even more blue. We can start by bringing down the color temperature. Let's darken it a little bit and add some saturation. That looks pretty good. Now let's do the same thing with the yellow side. Let's grab a new grad tool, pull it down holding shift. We're going to go back to our range mask, choose color, grab our eyedropper and click over here. So we can press O to double check our masking. Looks good. You can always adjust it right here. So we can bring it up a little bit. Press O to turn off our mask. So let's darken up this part of the sky slightly and let's bring the saturation up quite a bit. So let's take a look at our before and after. Here's our sky before, a little washed out. Here's after. Now we have a lot more vibrance in the sky. So we've worked on our background. Now let's work on our foreground. We'll use our brush tool this time. Grab a brush, make sure you have auto mask turned on. Press O so we can see where we're working. Let's brush in these foreground rocks. That looks good. We spilt over a little bit here. We can press Alt down, turns our brush into an eraser. Let's turn our mask off by pressing O. And I want to start by adding some texture. Really bring out these foreground elements. We have some yellow light on this rock, so let's accentuate it just a little bit. We'll bring the temperature up. So now we have our background and foreground done. Let's do some work on our midground. Grab a new brush. Let's brush in all of this rushing water here. Turn on your mask so you can see where you're working. And I just want to brush in all of this white water here. our brushwork is done, press O. Let's turn off our overlay. And let's bring our exposure up to brighten this water. It's a bit too much. I'm going to back it down to almost one stop. So let's take a look at what our brushwork did. Here's before. The foreground doesn't grab your attention, and our midground is just too dark. After, we have some more color and texture in our foreground, so you're immediately drawn to this area. Then you see the bright white rushing water in our midground. Finally, your eye is led through the scene to the most vibrant area and to our starburst. If you want to get a starburst like this, use a small aperture, such as f14, and wait for the sun to be intersected by a hard line, in this case, these houses and cliff. Let's take a look at our composition here. So the shoreline helps lead your eye from the front to the back, and from side to side. So we start here, bottom left, we have the incoming water, our textured rocks. You can look down the shoreline, straight at the starburst. With a quick base edit, 2 graduated filters, and 2 brush filters, we're able to transform this image. The time of year wasn't perfect for this image. It was shot around summertime, and you can see the sun was way back here, far north. If this image was shot during winter, you could have had the sun setting over the water. So depending on what look you want, you need to time it with what time of year it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe.